Hello, hello. I'm Brandy and this is Shannon, and we're the co-founders of the Thriving Relationship. And this is our Tuesdays with Thriving, where we pick a topic and we just kind of talk to whoever will listen to us.
Yes, who's out there tonight? So tonight's topic, and it's so funny, every time we pick a topic, like today I had several clients and we dealt with this theme all day.
Yes.
So the theme of the day is control.
Mm-hmm.
What is in my control? What is out of my control? How does that pertain to relationships? And Brandy and I are big fans of control. Shocking.
Yeah, no greater way to find out how much control you wish you had than to go and work on your master's degree,
Right.
while being married and having kids, and you can't keep the house the way you think it should be, and you can't do everything you're used to being able to do, and having to relinquish control and be okay with that.
Sure, I'm okay with other people cleaning, even though it's not exactly how. Or I'm okay with getting D's so that I can actually have life balance.
Yeah.
So we got a crash course in what to let go of.
Yeah, one of the biggest control issues I think I've had to deal with personally, just like in me and Brandon's relationship, is I spent a lot of time kind of trying to control his feelings and his emotions. And I know, right? Wait, newsflash, we didn't know this about you. Yeah. And how miserable that was. I mean, and realistically, completely out of my control, because at the end of the day, I can do things that might cause him to feel joy, that might cause him to feel anger, right? But ultimately, he is responsible, just like I'm responsible for how I feel. And I really have no control over, right? I mean, I could do everything he wanted, and he still might be having a bad day.
Emotions, I think, are the big ones. I was talking with a woman today, and she was saying, well, if I do this, then my husband gets really anxious. And I'm like, well, that's what she's doing isn't out of line.
Right.
It's something she wants to do. So then it is, it's okay for him to experience some anxiety. It's okay. So the example I gave is, Brad will hop around and go on work trips, and we're about to hit that season where he's going to a lot of different work trips. And I know at one point I think it was probably last January, because that's when he's gone for weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And it's swim season and volleyball club starting, and I've got a lot of clients going, and I think we were starting a parenting class, and I remember starting being able to state it isn't about you, but I'm having anxiety, maybe I'm a little irritable, maybe just a little bit. And I watched him try to swoop in and well, maybe I don't need to go. And it's no. It's it's okay for me to sit in that emotional experience. It's okay for me to be agitated. It's okay, whatever that is, you don't have to fix it. And I know a lot of us, and I'm a rescuer in recovery as well.
Right, all social workers are.
Is that you swoop in and you try to make a quick change.
Yeah.
To try and pull someone out of their emotional experience, instead of just it's okay. If I am, so what is in my control is how I treat people.
Yeah.
What needs, am I clearly stating what my needs are? And then if that, for whatever reason, causes agitation or irritation or anger, that's okay.
Yeah.
They're entitled to have their experience as well. And I don't get to jump in and try to manipulate their experience.
Right. Yeah, that's the other piece is, I have control over how I respond to someone else's feelings or emotions or actions.
Yeah, so the other thing I think, especially in couples, is we're trying to control, a lot of, I work with couples, but I also work with individuals. And a lot of individuals are coming in with relationship issues of saying my husband or my wife refuses to come in for therapy.
Yeah.
And so what do I do? And, my response in that is we all, and, our formula for how we do things at Thriving is a lot, or it's based in individual work.
It is.
My relationship will improve if I'm working on me. If I'm making sure that I'm figuring out, why does this trigger me? What upsets me? Unless I'm really clear on that, I'm just bouncing things back and forth.
Right. Yeah. We're just kind of bouncing off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
This trigger after that trigger after this unmet need. Excuse me. I've got a cold.
She's bringing up frog today.
I know. Usually you're a frog person. I'm a frog person
today. You stole.
Yeah.
But so my advice is always like, what is in your control is to really work on you.
Mm-hmm.
So say you know your relationship needs help and your person doesn't want to go to a retreat or doesn't want to do a workshop or doesn't want to go to therapy. Go do the work yourself and get very clear on what your needs are. As you grow as a person, that will be easier. And then from that point, a lot of times you see that the significant other or the spouse is watching it, and then they'll start to want to do their work too. So sometimes you have to have one person start the process, and they're like, oh, whatever you're doing is really working.
Yeah.
Maybe that Shannon person that you go see isn't as scary as I thought she'd be. And then the other person comes along, or maybe they don't, and then you have decisions to make if the relationship is one that isn't
right.
Fulfilling or healthy.
Yeah, that's a pretty that's a just the way we built the formula. I mean, just exactly what Shannon shared is a really close to home. It hits my heart, and it's exactly how Brandon and I got to a place where we are so close now. And there were times in our marriage where I didn't know that it would be. He was kind of trying to do his work, and I was trying to do my work, and we weren't doing it very well at all. And I really had to dig in and do a lot of work. And as I kind of got clear on some of my stuff, it seemed to kind of give him permission to kind of get clear on his stuff, and we really were able to come together. But it didn't always feel that way. Like there were moments where it was like, is one of us going to outgrow the other? And then, then what will happen? But it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been exciting and fun.
I think when we were brainstorming, like, what else do we try and control? We try to control judgment of other people. So what other people think of us.
Yeah.
And I love Brene Brown that has a quote, or it's part of one of her talks. I've read so many books, I can't keep it all straight. But she talks about, like, you get to control what's in your swim lane. She's a swimmer. Like, it's none of your business what's in the other swim lane.
Yeah.
And so I find a lot of people are, making choices and maybe trying to please others, or they're really worried about what's on the surface so that someone doesn't judge them, or they don't want to be vulnerable because they don't want the judgment. And really, we don't get to control what's going through other people's heads.
No, and the big secret is people are going to judge no matter what.
It's just kind of our pastime.
It's just kind of a human thing. And so, be you, right? Be you, because then you can be happy with who you are versus trying to be whatever you think they want you to be, and then maybe they don't like it anyways, and you also don't like it.
Yeah, so, and you also, I think you feel suffocated, or you feel just always like you can't really find who you are because you're always living for other people. Couples
therapy at the beginning of it, do you think it's bad? No. No, we totally think. I think if you can head off some stuff, right? Like a lot of us grew up in homes where like we just kind of watched our parents white knuckle it through it, and maybe they stayed together, maybe they didn't. But and then some of us had examples where maybe they kind of knew how to do it out the gate. And if you don't know how to do it out the gate, like, or if you've already had a history of some poor relationships, like, I think it is so much easier to make it go well up front than to fix some of the damage that happens afterwards, right? The resentments and stuff can be really hard.
Yeah, Carrie and her no. Yeah, I have a couple that, well, I don't know him. So I work with an individual client right now. And she and her boyfriend are doing the workshop and online and figuring out all sorts of ways, just having those rich discussions, figuring out like what are the boundaries are up front, what are some of the triggers up front. And so they're starting the relationship with all of this information instead of like, what do you call it? Like, when you're just stepping on landmines and then you've got to course correct and then there's pain. And so, no, I think any work up front is, and we hang out with the people that don't come in for 15 years and it's like, oh, please do your work up front.
Right. Yeah. And like, I mean, if you were going to make a recipe, right? Like if you're going to cook something, generally we want to have a recipe to help us get it done right. So, I mean, I think it's similar. Best thing. Yep.
Yeah, set a good foundation and try and get some of that cleared out in the beginning, because I'm amazed at the small, and they're not small things, they're big things, but things that happen in the very beginning that then we carry with us, and then they just grow. And by, people still remember that thing. I was talking to a woman today, and she was saying, at age 20, her husband had said something to her, and she remembers it like it was yesterday. And those are the things that if you can clear that out early.
Oh, yeah. Don't pack it around.
Please. Yes.
Yeah, you want them to fight about the garbage can, that it's never really about the garbage can.
Wouldn't it be better just to fight about the garbage?
Right. It really could be about the garbage.
We could fight about the garbage.
Thank you for that question. That's a wonderful question. Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else related to just control.
So what's in my control? I can control how I interact with people. So am I interacting from a place that's, I try to live in a place that's generally loving and kind.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to control my behaviors regardless of what emotions I'm sitting with. Am I making sure that I'm interacting with people? Am I starting conversations from a gentle, open space, or am I starting them with a short-tempered space? You get to control. What else do you get to control?
You get to control the boundaries you place. Right now, I know sometimes that's a scary word. I've heard a scary word, but you get to draw a line in the sand of what you'll tolerate and what you won't tolerate, or what you expect to have in your life and what you don't expect to have in your life. And so that is something you do get to control. And a lot of times that's one that I see people kind of give away, and then they play the victim over.
Right.
So realize that even though, it means you'll have to be responsible for it. It means you get to be responsible for it, right? Like it puts you back in the driver's seat. So boundaries, limits, whatever you want to call it.
You get to control really stating what those needs. Whether you're calling it a boundary or a need, are you actually stating it to be met instead of waiting for someone to mind read? Because I'm not finding very many people mind read very well.
No.
So being able to clearly state what's going on for me, being able to interact with people in a way that is kind, just stating where those, but I don't get to control my person.
Yeah, the other thing you can control too is kind of how you take care of yourself, right? Sometimes like our lack of self-care is a big contributor to some of the conflicts we have in our relationships with, our intimate partner, but even our other relationships, really.
Right.
And so that's something that we can retake control of. And I think, we live in a culture right now that like busy means success. Busy is the gold star.
Right.
But, I think it's swinging the other way. We're starting to recognize that may not be the case. So
that there needs to be some balance.
Yeah. Recognize the control you have. Take some back if you need to, to help take care of yourself so that you are the best you that you bring to your relationship, that you bring to parenting, that you bring to your job. Because that will help you be in more control of all those things you do.
I really think that I have great ideas of how other people should live and be.
Right.
Like what their emotions should be and how they should react and what their judgment about me should be. But I love that whole swim lane. I use that visual a lot. Like, is it in my swim lane?
Yeah.
Well, then I don't get to control that.
Yep. I run through a worry, wants, and needs in my head, which is a addictions thing that we talk about in my groups about control, and that's it. It's like, is this in my control? No, this is not my circus. These are not my monkeys. I have to just let go.
Even though I really, really have a great idea of how the monkeys should do their thing.
Right. There's this trick I could teach them. They just listen. Oh, all right. Well, I think that covers a pretty good topic tonight.
Yeah. What is, Carrie? Oh, a whole topic on victim. We should do the drama triangle. Maybe we'll do that next week. We can do rescuer, victim.
Yeah. Share that with your friends and think how they judge you then. Why did you invite me to the victim topic.
Yeah. It's like,
It'd be fun.
this is why no one wants to invite us to dinner anymore. It's like, ooh, what are we talking about? What are we looking at? What are we analyzing today?
Yeah. All right. So if you enjoy what you see, we have a website. It's ShannonKay.Johnson.com. And there we offer a few different things. We offer an online workshop that you can start up at any time. It's a 12-week program that you and your partner can do from the convenience of your own home.
Completely private. It goes
Yeah.
to your email, so you don't even have to really talk to us if you don't want to.
Yeah, but you want to. We also offer intensive weekends where we can kind of, the details of those really get to kind of be laid out between all of us. And that's so wherever you want to go. You know, are we sneaking away for a weekend to a place like Sun Valley or something like that? Or is it just going to be here local? You know, so it's really helpful if we, in an intensive weekend, because you can just get in and you can dig and you can just keep digging into it versus when you're trying to fit really deep stuff into rich conversation, into a 1 hour. It's hard because it's like you start to get into it and then it's like, oh, time's up, we got to go. And it's hard to get right back there each week. So intensives can be a really great option. And then we've got 4 different options for retreats coming up in 2019, which will be really fun. So we will continue to share information there, but those will be a really beautiful getaway for the weekend to really kind of just reinvigorate or take your relationship to the next level, or just that fun weekend away that is just, you know, kind of what we need to nourish, fill up our relationship cup.
Right.
Okay.
Getting away from your normal.
Yeah.
Your normal.
All right. Well, we hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday evening, and we look forward to next week.
Yeah. Victim. We get to talk about the victim.
Yeah.